Hi everybody, this is Pat in the paper closet. Glad you came back today. We're going to be starting a new project today. This is our new junk journal. It's going to be larger. This one is 6 by 9. Now being that I had to test this out before I videoed anything, I'm going to start with a new packaging bag. We're using the Amazon sort of bubble wrap, whatever is in there. Now you have to be careful a little bit because when I ripped off the label, you get down to you rip off some of the outer paper. So this is how they make it sort of bubble wrapped. It's just little dots of foam. So after I ripped off the label, I carefully just kept rubbing till all the little pieces came off. And then you have to clean them off and throw them away. So I just took it to the trash can and rubbed it all off. It wasn't too messy. As long as while you're rubbing, don't rub too fast or too hard. It'll go all over the place. So this is what I started with. This one's rather large. It's, let's see, upside down. It's 12 by, well, when it's folded, it's 12 by 6 3/4. So it's actually it's almost like 14 inches, I guess. 12, 13 and a half, give or take, depending on how much cut open the end to open it. So I'm just going to cut this down. I'm going to use my ruler and my craft knife. It doesn't fit in my guillotine cutter, and I doubt that it would fit in my paper trimmer. So I'm just going to start by cutting this down. Now I think I'm going to cut, let's see, how tall is it? It's 12 inches high. And we need 9. So I could take off 1.5 inches on each end. I think that's what I'm going to do. I folded it very carefully, trying to get it even. We don't need it exactly even, but because we're going to be cutting off this edge. But fold it in half, give it a lot of pressing, so you sort of have a good fold. And then you'll be ready. Get everything flattened out. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to use my mat as a guide. I'll line up my fold on the line on my mat. And then this end looks even. So I'll put this on the line. And I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches. Put my ruler, my metal edge down, line it up on the 1.5 inches, and we'll see how well this cuts. I'm just making very light passes, not pressing much at all. And I'm through already, I believe. Yes. Not the end. There's more paper on the end. Okay, so we have that end off. And now I can just measure 9 inches this way, because that's how the height we want. And nothing's going to cut very evenly on this. Line this up there. I'll put it at the 5. Plus 9 would be 14, is where I have to cut it. Make sure I have it straight. Here's my 14-inch mark, right here. And that'll give me 9 inches in the height. So again, you don't have to press very hard. Stay up against your ruler. And keep going until you feel like you're through. See, there's that foam cutting coming out the end. See the foam in there? It's just little dots of foam they put inside. This is a little messy, but not too bad. Okay, now we need the width. Here's our folded side. I'm going to place that on the 8. And we want this 6 inches wide. Let me see. Oh, not in camera, I'm sorry. This is a little bigger than normal. Alright, there we go. 6 inches wide. So if I'm at the 8 plus 6, we'll be cutting at 14. I'm lining it up on the mat with the 14-inch line. And I'm going to cut. Very lightly, making sure I'm up against the edge of the ruler, the metal edge, and then cut. Now nothing has to be exact because we're going to cover this whole thing with cardstock. One more cut. There we go. Okay, so that's the size of our journal. Very good. Both the same. And now what I did with this one, I covered this one in white cardstock. But I'm not going to use white because this one that I'm making now, I don't know what type of journal it'll be. I think that my next one may be a neutral color. So I'm going to cover it with this craft cardstock. I'm going to cover it just like I did this one. It's a wrapped cover. I'm going to fold it over and glue it. You don't have to worry about a spine on this one. So the first thing we have to do, let me take off any little edges here. Move that to the side. Don't need my knife anymore. I close that up and get rid of some of this mess, little bits. Okay. Get rid of this. Okay, what we need to do, because I'm working with 8.5 by 11 inch sheets, but I think if you had, even if you had 12 by 12, it wouldn't be wide enough. So we're going to join two pieces together by about 1/4 of an inch. Again, I'm going to use my mat. Line it up on one of the lines, any line. I'm going to get my glue. Let's see if I can raise my camera a little bit so you can see more what I'm doing. Almost. I'm going to put glue 1/4 of an inch along the edge. I'm lined up on a line there. So 1/4 of an inch would be half of this. So I'm just going to spread some glue. Hopefully my glue is working. Here we go. All along the edge. You don't want a lot. You don't want it oozing out all over. So nice thin. Oh my goodness, my bottle is leaking. You never know what's going to happen, people. Hold on 1 second. Now I need a paper towel. My goodness. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Get this off my mat. Clean up my bottle. Make sure it's closed tight. Ugh. What a mess. Alright. I don't see any leaks. Let's try again. Clean up the outside of the bottle a little bit. Getting glue all over my fingers. Okay. Let's try this again. Spreading our glue. No leaks this time. Just a 1/4 of an inch in from the, well, filling in a 1/4 of an inch from the edge. The very light coat of glue. Trying to get some up to the edge so that it'll stick together. A little more in here. That looks pretty good. Okay, now you take the other piece of paper, and you can see on your mat about where a 1/4 of an inch is. It's about there, so line up your top and your bottom, making them both in about a 1/4 of an inch, and press it down carefully so you don't move it. And let go of that glue. Okay. I'm going to give this a really good press. Press the glue out towards the edge so that it catches the very edge of your page, the paper. Give it a few minutes or a few seconds to dry a bit. And we can turn it over and do the other side. Okay, that's good. We have a good seam there. And it's not dry yet, so carefully move it. Now what you're going to do is take your bag that you've cut. We don't want the seam right on the binding. Open this out and move it so you have about 1 inch all around. I'm using the bottom and this left side, making sure that's 1 inch. I can always trim this off, and we'll trim off this end. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this half at a time, since it's so large. Put down glue, and my seam is right here, not on the edge of your fold, so the seam will be on the back of your book. Making sure I have my inch. I'm going to start spreading some glue around up to about 1 inch from the edge. It's more than 1 inch. Okay. And then you want to get some on the inside. Squiggle it around. And you want this cover to stick. Along the end where the fold's going to be. Still holding this still. I'm going to open it up and press this down over my glue. And carefully turn this over so I can press it down well. This is the side we just glued. Give it a good press along the edges. Take your bone folder or your ruler or whatever you're using and press it down, smoothing out your glue. We're trying to avoid any lumps in the paper from the glue. And give it a few seconds to dry. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, we're going to turn it back over carefully. It seems to have stuck. Actually, it fell apart. Oh no. Okay, now we have a problem. Now that we cut it, it has come apart. I'm going to put a little glue here just to hold it together. The two layers, we need both layers. I'm going to cover this whole thing with glue. Not a lot, just to hold it until we enclose it in our craft paper. Squiggle it around. And I'm going to line this up with the other one. Sides, top. Okay. I didn't realize I was going to fall apart like that. Once we close it all up, it'll be fine. Okay, now I'm going to glue this side. I'm going to make a mark how far over we come. Here's the end. I want another inch, but here's my end. My glue has to go up to this mark. So again, we're going to run the glue around the outside edge, an inch on the edge. Go up to where our mark is, and along the top. And then we're going to cut off the top, part of the top, when we're finished gluing. So we can make an even edge all around. Okay, I'm filling in my glue. Make sure I get the corners good, and the edges. Now I'm going to fold this side over, down onto the glue, press it. It's not sticking for some reason. Okay, press it down good. Let the glue start drying. Now I hope it's not going to fall off. No. I'm going to turn it over. And this is the side we're doing right now. Give it a good press. Here's where our bag ends, right here. Take my bone folder. Put a little pressure so we spread the glue around to the corner and the edge. Okay, that feels good. dry yet, but I'm going to turn it back over. I'm going to cut off this extra end. I'll leave about an inch. And I'm going to trim the top off just a little bit. I just did not want glue. I think when I did the first one, the pink one, the bag was not this big, so I didn't have to cut off both ends. So it stayed together. But this one I had to trim both ends, so it all came apart. Press that down. Alright, now we're going to start folding this over. It's kind of working it so you get a crease at the top. Do it slowly, pressing it down all the way across to the corner. And do the other side, pressing it over right up to the bag. All the way to the corner. Now we're going to press those out a little bit and do the same thing on the ends. Pressing over the bag till we get a crease. Take my bone folder and make a better crease all the way to the corners. Same thing on the other end. Folding it over. Pressing it with your hand, and then using your bone folder or your ruler, give it a good crease. And I'm going to do this side again and crease it with the bone folder. You want a nice even crease along the edge. This side. All the way to the end. Give it that good crease. Okay. Now I think it's staying together now. Now what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to get my glue bottle with a larger opening so that I get more glue. And what we're going to do, I'm going to cut off the ends, the corners. I'm going to miter it, but you have to leave about 1/8 of an inch, right from the corner to the edge of your paper, so that we can cover the corner. Same thing on all 4 corners, leaving at least about 1/8 of an inch. That one, and this one. Okay. Now I'm going to start with the long edges. Get some of this out of my way. I'm going to take our glue. Hopefully it works. Here we go. I'm going to put glue all the way up to the edge of the bag, to the outer edge of the paper, covering just about the whole thing. All the way across. Now I'm sure if you use any type of double-sided tape. It may stick to this, I'm not sure. I don't usually use tape, but you can try it. Okay, we have our glue down. Now we're going to start folding this over again on that crease that we made. Pressing it down all the way across. And this is not like pressing on chipboard or cardboard, because it's a bag. It's not as even, but it's sticking fine. Wipe up my extra glue. That side seems to be holding well. Now we'll do the other side. It's not totally holding on the edges, but this is all going to get covered up by another sheet of paper. We're going to line the whole thing, so that will hold it down. And then we're going to put glue on this side, from the fold all the way out to the outer edge, all the way across. Trying to make sure I get more on the edge this time, so it'll hold down. Okay. Now press it up, and it's along your fold that you've made. Press it up with your hand. Give it a good press. And try working the glue upward. Okay, take my bone folder. Pressing it down all the way to the edge. Flattening out that little tiny piece that we left, that 1/8 of an inch. Wipe up any glue, comes out. Okay, now we're going to work on the ends. You're going to just press over that little leftover piece, that little 1/8 of an inch, kind of like you're wrapping a present. That'll cover up your corners. Four corners. And just kind of give it a press in. See what I mean? Just folding it over so it's kind of like wrapping a present. And that will keep your corner covered, so your bag won't peek out the corner. Okay, now we're going to put glue on this end, same way. Come out from the fold on top of your little piece that you folded to the edge. Press over on your fold that you made. Letting it stick down. Take your bone folder. Give it a good press in the corner. folding. Now we have one more side to do. Take our glue. Come on. There we go. From the fold over our little end piece to the outer edge. Now this is more glue than we normally put on, but we're trying to make it stick to this bag. We're a little heavy on the glue. Piece. Okay. Now fold it over. Go on your crease. Mopping up any extra glue comes out the end. Keep on folder and press it down. Okay, corner. Okay. Check these areas here, like we have this little bump here. I want to make sure the glue sticks as much as I can. It seems to be holding down well. And that's all there is to covering it. So there we have it, all covered. Now I'm going to give it a minute before we try to fold it. Let the glue set in there. But this is what I did to make this cover. Oh, this one I covered in white. This one is the crepe. So this is the one I'll be saving for another project. So far, we've gotten, see, this one is not covered yet. This is what this one looks like. Let's see how, size-wise. Yeah, they're the same size. This is the one we're working with today. So we're going to take, I picked out this paper. This is going to cover the inside of our cover. We'll have like a 1/2 inch all around, because now we're working with 8.5 by 11 inch paper on a larger area, so we can't cover the whole thing like we normally do all the way to the edge. So we'll have a 1/2 inch around the edges, which will work out fine. Okay, so we might as well do that. The last thing we'll do is cover the back, because you see it's getting all worked up from working on it. So that'll be last. You might as well attach this piece. I'm going to lay it in the center. I'll put a little bit of glue on this section here. Seems to be fine. I'll lay this in the center. I have it folded. I folded it evenly. So I know where the center is. And you can lay it right on your center line. You want about a 1/2 inch all around. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Make sure I'm in the fold. And then we're going to glue it down. Now this time we're going to use, because we're using copy paper, which is much thinner, I'm going to use a glue stick on this. So I'm folding half of it back. And take my glue stick, making sure this is still in the center on my fold. Fold this back. I'm going to start putting glue on this side of the cover. Down to about a quarter of an inch, I mean a half an inch, I'm sorry, all around. And just fill in the middle. Well, not completely. Similar to what we do with the glue bottle. Just rub it around. Okay. Now you're going to carefully pick up this side and lay it down where your glue is. Start pressing from the center outward. Pressing it down well. Take my bone folder. Move this away. And press this down. Make sure you press it out to the edges so the glue spreads out to the edge so they're stuck down well. Let me take this one out here. And that's looking very good. It's easier for me if I turn this side around and do the same thing now. We'll fold this side back and put our glue stick all around like before to a half an inch from the outside. Up the middle where your center fold is, and then lots of glue all around. Okay, now we'll take this side, starting from the center, lay it down, and press it down, and then work it outward. Press it down, up to the edges. We have a nice cover on the inside of our book. Goes this way. You may have a few bumps and lumps in it, but that can't be helped. You're not working with a flat surface. But for the most part, you start from the center like I just showed you. And go on pretty evenly. Do this very slowly. Take your bone folder and run it down the center on your fold. Lightly, not hard, you'll rip your paper. Until we can get it up. And slowly close it. You don't want to rip the cardstock on the outside here. Give it a good press. Flatten out your fold here. You see why I don't do the back until I'm finished with the book? Because from rubbing around on your mat and your table, it gets all messed up. Okay, let's see how the inside looks. Not bad. A few little wrinkles over here. And once that dries, it'll be fine. Okay. Now I'm not going to do the holes in here yet until this is dry. I'm just going to show you what I've picked out for my signatures, my pages. Oh, and also here's a piece for the back of our book. I had to cut it in 2 separate pieces because this is wider than an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet. So you have to do it in 2 parts. Front of your book and the back of your book. That'll fit just fine. I'm trimming off a little bit off the bottom, but that'll be last. Okay, here's our book, and here are our pages. Well, my pages. You're going to pick out different pages, whatever you want for your pages. I think I have 12 pages. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is not attached yet. This I used paper from, I was making a different type of book, and then I decided I wanted a little eyelet edge on it, so I used my decorative edge punch, and I punched the edge. Now I'm not sure how long this paper edge is going to last, so I don't know. If you want to put lace on there, you can. I don't have a white lace. All I have is that beige, so I figured I would try this first. If it doesn't last too long, I can just cut it off at the edge. But it may last. So that's going to get glued onto this page. Now let's count pages. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not a separate page. 5. This one I just stenciled on. That's 6, 7. This one I sprayed some Distress ink on. 8, 9, 10, 11. More than I thought. 12 and 13. This piece of vellum is the center of our signature. So there are 13 pages in here. So, well, 13 sheets of paper. So 13 times 4 would be 52 pages. I'm not going to worry about trimming them because they don't stick out the side of the book much. Let's put them in here. See, we have a good fit on the pages. You can trim them if you want, but it's so difficult to get them all even. And if you're going to put lace on any of your edges, you're not going to notice whether they're even or not. Now this one was another page. I did the eyelet on the edge, and I made a pleated pocket, which I'm going to put on there. I'll make a few more pockets. Here's another one with the eyelet trim. Where is it? There it is. Now when I glue these on, because they're the same size as the page, and I trimmed them down on the end, I'm going to have to glue them a little bit over, so I get that little bit of a hangover on the edge. Okay, so I think that's it for today. On the next video, I'll put together the signatures, we'll punch the holes, and we'll sew it in, and then maybe we'll get a few pockets or tags done, and it won't be long, we'll have it all finished. Our cover's drying nicely, the inside. I may put a pocket on this side of the cover. Here's the back cover. It's drying well. It's holding. That's what I was worried about. So when it's closed, you see the pages don't stick out of the book. They're inside the book, on both ends and on the side. Okay, so I hope you try one of these. This will be my next project. And let's see. No, I shouldn't fold this yet. I'll wait till it dries. till the outside completely dries. I'm afraid we'll crack the cardstock. We fold too fast. So I'll let that dry. That's another project. Okay, I hope you like this video. Please hit the like button and help me get more views. And also hit the subscribe button and you'll get a notification when the next part is up. Making the signature, sewing it in, and maybe doing some pockets. Okay, thank you very much for coming. I'll see you soon. Bye.